And now then, ladies and gents, welcome to Crypto Chap UK. I just want to cover today something that I've been thinking about for a while, which is to discuss and talk about in general the reasons why some of us, myself included, are so confident in the future of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. Why am I and so many other crypto investors so confident in the market and its future? You'll hear a lot of gurus, a lot of people online. Some are just amateur people like myself into it, and some are financial experts. Just why are we so confident in it, and why are we so excited about the market for the future? So I'm going to go through a few things today on it. I will have a quick look at the market as well, and where we're at now. But I want to cover some of the key points. There could be a lot more I could go through, but I want to keep it down to 10 to 15 minutes for us, if that's possible. And I think the only way to do it is to go through some of the main points, okay? So, okay then, the question is, why am I and so many of crypto investors so confident in the market and its future? Could it be the main inherent attributes of the cryptocurrencies? For example, it's decentralized, not controlled by a single institution or person. Just to let you know, I've made some notes here, so I'm going to go through some notes. I'll forget otherwise, I'm getting old. So, could it be the fact that it's decentralized, not controlled by a single institution or a person? In most cases, like Bitcoin, it's deflationary. So your cryptocurrency is deflationary. In most cases, there is some exceptions to the rule. The peer-to-peer transactions, the security and protection, the global and borderless whole thing around the cryptocurrency markets, the fact that there's no barriers. I mean, there is no barriers. It is global and it is borderless. Okay. Super fast transaction speeds in most part. Bitcoin's probably one of the slow ones these days, but that's another reason why they call it more gold number 2. Obviously, there is some things being put into place, including this Lightning Network and other things that will probably bring it up to speed anyway, but that's another story. The fact that another point is the fact that this can't be counterfeited. The cryptocurrency can't be counterfeited or quantitative eased. It's very, very important. If you ever think about these points, and you want to know more about these points, go and have a look at it. If you've not heard about it before, go and have a look at these points. So it can't be counterfeited or quantitative eased, okay? It gives freedom and complete portability. I mean, you know, it's not hard to move something digital, and that's very important, especially with the way this is set up. You know, if you wanted to lug around thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of pounds for gold, it's a lot harder to take that around the world than it would be with cryptocurrencies, of course. Lots of other details to that, obviously. Gives freedom and complete portability, of course, I just mentioned that. It's permissionless, it's trustless, it's transparent, and yet can be confidential too, okay? Now, these things I've just mentioned, right, they are almost all the basics, okay? There's a few more points you could mention, but there are other reasons, okay? I'm not going to mention every other reason, but there are many, many other reasons. So, let's have a look at a few of them, okay? Looking at our current system, right? Fiat cash, which is not backed by anything and is inflationary by its very nature. That's our current currency, fiat currency. If you don't know about it, go off and learn about it, study it. I think everybody should know about what kind of financial system we have set up. Most people don't. Most people don't learn about it. Me included when I was in my 20s. It wasn't until I got to my late 20s, early 30s, I started looking in more detail about it. Okay, partly because I opened up my own business. So, if you, for example, if you compare our fiat cash, our currency, to Bitcoin, for example, your money on Bitcoin is a bit like gold. It's backed by an asset. It's a finite resource, just like gold, okay? It basically can be a currency, and it can be an asset too, okay? This is really important. These are just a few of the things, okay? So also, it's of benefit and interest from normal people like myself, right up to big business, final institutions. So it'll help people like me, just your normal Joe Blogs, and it'll also help big business and financial institutions. Basically, across the board, from the poor in the world, from the poorest places in the world, right up to financial bigwigs, right up to the big institutions, big business, and all of the above, basically. People who haven't got the access to banking, there's thousands, hundreds of thousands, not millions of people in the world that haven't got access to finance, to banks, and to many other things that we take for granted. This is also a help for them too. Okay. Also, don't forget this is currently this is an emerging, developing market, and it's a new ecosystem. So don't forget that it's an emerging market. This isn't gone up to like 800 billion, gone down to 300 billion, 400 billion. All these amounts that it's got to, it's dropped, it's raised. It isn't where it's going to lay standing. As far as we're concerned, it's an emerging market. Now, I'll discuss this a little bit more as we go along, okay? But don't forget, obviously I'm not a financial advisor, so you need to do your own research and check out what you want to do when it comes to cryptocurrency blockchain. But these are very, very important reasons why we are, most people in the cryptocurrency world, are so confident in the market. When you understand the market, you understand what you get into, it does give you the confidence for it. So, don't forget, currently an emerging, developing market and a completely new ecosystem, which hasn't happened for a long time, decades if not a century or more, okay? As in a market or system, as in any market or system, it has value. And in this case, it has not reached anywhere near its true potential yet. The value that it is, it's not reached that value yet. The value and the worth that it's going to be, in general, the whole crypto market, hasn't hit its value yet. So currently the market is around 260 to say 290 billion, fluctuating right now, okay, which is normal. 260 to 290 billion dollars, billion dollars, that's market capitalization. So the total capitalization of the whole crypto market is currently approximately 260 to 290 billion dollars, okay? Almost any large market that you'll see, almost any large market or any ecosystem like this will easily get into the trillions as it matures. So as it matures, it will surely, as far as we're concerned, as far as I'm concerned, will get into the trillions, okay? Just think about gold, for example, right? Gold alone has a market cap of approximately $7.8 trillion. Right now, right this minute, it has approximately $7.8 trillion market capitalization. That's just on gold alone, okay? Just think about that, okay? There are many other reasons for the confidence in this market. I could discuss loads. There's so many more. Well, these are just some of the main key points that you need to think about. And if you want to, and if you're really into it, go and do a bit of research on it. Yeah, like I said before, I've said in other videos, you don't need to know the whole story of the market. You don't need to learn every detail of the market, but it does help to learn as much as you can, understand it as much as you can. One, to give you the confidence if you're going to invest. Two, to kind of give you the steadfast attitude when it comes to drops and raises. So to understand that the market is, like any market, volatile. This one will be more volatile right now than others because it's still maturing, but it gives you the strength to ride those waves out, okay? Ride those waves out because you realize where, or you can understand where it could potential and more likely is going to be in the future. So, who else is into the cryptos, okay? Who else is into the cryptos when it comes to, let me just change this page here, we'll just get this onto here. I'm going to check this out and we're going to do a little bit of marketing. So, who else is in the cryptos that you might know? Okay. Well, how about Bill Gates, Richard Branson, John McAfee? These are just a few. Now, these people, you know, they are big in business. They are entrepreneurs. They're not the only ones. I could mention a dozen more. But these key three here are very excited about the blockchain and the cryptocurrency world, and they are extremely confident in it. Some of the stuff they said is unbelievable. And what about big business? So what companies or institutions are getting in this new technology? Well, how about these to start with? How about RBS? Okay, JP Morgan, Bank of Australia, IBM, and many, many more. Many more of the financial institutions, some that we've not heard of, some that are big and have been around for a century or more, some that have only been around for the last few decades, but many of them have or already jumping on it. So many investment firms, for example, and the strategies by them that they've created, they're getting into the blockchain. So they've already set up a strategy for getting into blockchain, or are already in the blockchain and are working on their current strategies now. strategies on how to use it for business, how to invest, what to do with it for the future. That's the cryptos and the blockchain together. So what does this tell us? Well, there are many great cryptos out there, so it does tell us that they are actually preparing for the future. They're looking at the cryptos of the future. They're looking at the current cryptocurrencies that are out there now that have already been used. They're looking at the fundamentals that are being worked on right now. So if they're looking at that and they're planning on this is the big business, the big institutions of the world, as well as, general public like myself. If they're getting, so what does that tell us? If the big business is getting into it, what should that tell us? Well, shouldn't we be doing the same then? Shouldn't we be getting ready for it, and shouldn't we be getting involved in it? Surely that would be a smart move, wouldn't it? So like I said before, there are many great cryptos out there. Many of them are developing the fundamentals for the future of blockchain and cryptocurrency. They're looking forward to making it better, more user-friendly. Because we know it's not completely user-friendly at the moment, but it's getting better and better. There's more technology coming out. It's making it simpler and easier to access. So, as well as helping to increase the future adoption rate. So it's helping to increase the future adoption rates through making it simpler products, simpler apps to get using it. Okay. So it's also helping to educate in this new and exciting technology. So in this technology, which is very exciting, the whole fundamentals, the whole things that are coming out, the apps that are coming out, the people that are discussing it, it is helping to educate people on it. It's not easy to understand, I know. It's not easy to grasp. I had a eureka moment sometime last year, and that eureka moment has got me really going on it, yeah? I bore some people with it, and I excite other people on it. But it is part of the future, and I think anybody not to be at least thinking about it and looking into it could be, and is missing out on some great stuff for the future, okay? I must tell you, though, there are still many poor and rip-off type cryptos out there, so I'm just warning you, be careful, because there are some real bad rip-off ones out there. Some that are purposely being rip-off, some that are just poor. They're just not very good. So, if you want, in my opinion, this is what I do. I stick to the fundamentals. I stick to the ones that are already out there, not ICOs. I'm not an ICO fan, although a lot of people made a lot of money out of them. I'm not saying don't do that. It's up to you. Don't forget, I'm not a financial advisor, so it's up to you whether you go into ICOs. But I would stick with the fundamentals unless you find a project, you find a new crypto, or you find a crypto that exists, that's a smaller one, and you're extremely confident in it. You're extremely confident in that, well then fine. I've got a few cryptos that I have a punt in, just a little bit of a, okay, that's cheap enough, I'll throw a bit of money at that. But I kind of stick to the fundamentals now. I've tightened up really well on what cryptocurrencies I invest in, and I stick to the fundamentals, okay? Now, I hope this video has been helpful to all of you. I hope I haven't tripped up too much, like I can do sometimes. If you do like the video, hit the like button. If you don't, hit the dislike button. But any comments, gratefully welcomed. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you find any of this information interesting or not, let me know. I am trying to work on it a bit more. I do have 2 businesses that I run, so I try to do it in between time. But I only want to give out good information, something that's maybe some people haven't thought of or haven't covered, for example. If there is anything you want me to look at or think about, if you have any questions, let me know. And hopefully, I will be speaking to you guys soon.